Hi, I'm Paul and this is Lee. Welcome to the Just Pull the Trigger podcast.
This is the show that discusses the trials, tribulations and triumphs of a small business owner.
On today's show, we're chatting to tree surgeon turned serial entrepreneur James Martin. In the episode, we talk about how James used his dyslexia to his advantage in becoming a master of delegation. How in this day and age you can't afford not to have a business mentor. His constant battle to balance work and family life. And he's also proof that you can crush goals and move like a chilled out Jedi, all thanks to his new Tai Chi obsession. All this and more to come on Just Pull the Trigger.
This is a very nice place you've got here. I love it. It's
You
cool.
like it?
Yeah, really cool. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Nice.
I thought it might be a bit of a come down from the Magic Circle yesterday.
From Baddow House.
Listen.
Is it the salon? Is that what it's called?
Baddow Park House. It was the salon, but the Magic Circle, mate. I was telling Ollie that was we were proper top guests.
Really?
Sinclair knows all of those guys personally, and he's a member there, and that was really good
I
last
didn't
night.
quite see. I saw the pictures, but I didn't quite.
It was
deep dive into
the
what was it?
president's night.
Right.
Yeah, but it is, and that's the guy from Marvel. And Marvel is all the stuff that's all the toys that you get as tricks that sell in Hamleys and stuff. He's been doing it for years, and it's all over the world. He's coming on our pod. We're going to do a pod with him.
Really?
He's like super wealthy. I mean, he sells that stuff all over the world.
So not Marvel as in Marvel Comics.
No, this is Marvel. I might be saying it wrong.
Is it
Marvel Magic.
Marvin's Magic?
That's it, even that. Yeah. All right. I wasn't there that day when they were doing joined up writing.
That's a dyslexic part.
Yeah, we'll take that.
I only remember because you had the gentleman on your podcast. Yeah. He was the
Yeah,
magician.
no, and he was. And James Green.
That's right.
James, I said to him, he said, oh, God, he was my prodigy boy. He sold more stuff than we'd ever had. Mm-hmm. And James was sort of really... And James went to New York and created all the stuff. And he was the one that worked out to not get magicians to sell magic in the shops, get actors.
Right.
Magicians were too technical, where the actors were selling it and more flamboyant.
I suppose that's a little bit like, I always think that they put actors on these, like Love Island, for argument's sake, aren't actually people, aren't actually actors. Because they
is it real?
Selling the emotion. Can that really happen?
Yeah.
Every episode, there's something happens or whatever,
But don't you think, that's what we were on the pre-chat to starting today, don't you think that the audience, don't underestimate the audience.
No, they're not.
They can see that. Yeah. They can see into the eyes and they go, is that a bit bullshitty? Is that a bit...
But they still watch it though, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I mean, I don't watch that, but yeah.
I have to admit, because my brain is just on the go all the time, my thing is watching car crash TV for an hour before I go to bed.
Yeah, like a la.
And it just...
Yeah.
It will be Love Island or something like that with my wife in bed.
Yeah.
And just...
I watch a guy from America, and he shows you what he's doing on his farm each week, and it drops on a Sunday, and I always go to him, watch him. Hello again, here we are. I'm going to mend the wheel on my tractor. And I just go, punk. That's me done for Sunday night.
YouTube is the new TV though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't watch anything on mainstream. I've just told in the office. No, you can just say to them, I don't want a TV license. They've been barracking me for a TV. I said, no, I don't use it. So that's it, and I don't use it.
No.
So you can come round and check if you like.
It's Netflix, it's YouTube, it's Amazon. That's it, really, isn't it?
The Prime and stuff. It's like that's exactly what I do is watch that.
Yeah, and the production on these things are just incredible.
But the YouTube thing is, you come back from a busy day, you press that button, and there's all the endorphin juice coming to you because it knows exactly what your algorithm is, what you like, what you're into, and then it brings up. In the morning, I'm up early. I sort of come out a bit about 5. I'll go down as I press YouTube. It brings up Sky Live TV because I like to check in, see what Trump's burnt or killed or done or whatever he's copped the world up with or helped or whichever way your persuasion is got. But it's like, and it just gives me that, and then off you go to the rest of the day. It's cool.
Yeah, I suppose you do just press it and it all comes up. You don't have to buy a TV guide or anything, do you?
No, not at all. No.
I do like to buy the old Christmas TV guide just to have a little look.
Yeah, the TV Times.
That's it.
TV Times. Not a lot good to me. No. There you go. There you go.
I'm talking to the crowd. But the podcast, how's that going?
Podcast is going well. Ollie, is the podcast going well? It is thumbs up. We got a thumbs up from Ollie off camera. So
dodgy guests, obviously.
Yeah, the most recent one.
Your one's done very, very well for us. Very well.
Really?
And we're seeing, little. There's no hockey sticks, but we're seeing some sort of progression uphill, and that's good on the graphs and stuff like that. I think we were talking earlier. It's about consistency.
It is
finding good guests, being very truthful with what you're doing, with what your stuff, being real.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key to it, isn't it?
I think my one's probably done well, probably because my mum's watched it about 500 times.
Yeah, someone's got to love you.
Have you found hard to get guests or easy to get guests?
No, we've been all right getting guests. I mean, Ollie books all the guests for me, and we find that people will approach us now. We put out on our socials, give us some suggestions. Who would you like to see? We're quite balanced that we're trying to find more entrepreneur females to come on because we want that. I want the podcast, Entrepreneurs Conversations. I want that podcast to allow younger people to see people that they can emulate and be. And I think that's really, 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 I did that when I was a kid, and that's what I did. I saw a guy that I went to school with, and I thought, well, he wasn't that much smarter than me, but he was there being a multimillionaire, and I was here still cutting grass, and he was a few years above me, and I sort of emulated to go towards him, and I think that's very powerful.
Yeah, gave you the why not me?
Yeah, why not me? Yeah. Where's my brain cells working? It's just that I'd made the different choices with. Do you know what I think I really was? I was in my own way. I can't ever see me doing that. Yeah. Then you won't see yourself doing it. And it was that kind of internal talk. I think
it's mindset, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Definitely.
it's. I have a saying that it's your thoughts become you.
Yeah.
If you think you're going to get ill, you're going to get ill.
Yeah,
if you think you're going to not make it, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite hard. I mean, I said to you on the podcast when we did it, at yours, I've had to really work on that sort of side of myself, and I'm getting better at it, but I definitely haven't cracked the code.
I think we don't realise that. I did a load of work years ago with Richard Bandler in America. He developed NLP. So NLP was sort of the language of and he was talking about the brain hears your thoughts and it hears your voice, and if it hears that, it does exactly what you want to do. I'm having a day. Let's deliver a day.
Yes.
I'm finding today challenging. Is a different thing than I'm having a day.
Yeah.
And it's really as simple as that, but it's hard to get someone to really believe it's as simple as that.
Yeah, a bit like a secret, hey?
Yeah, listen, I do lots of consultancy, do lots of one-to-ones that I'm going to be changing soon, and we'll talk about that later. The hardest thing is to get people to do implementation of new ideas. They go, well, you said that, but does it really work? And at that moment, does it really work? That's when you lost it.
Yeah.
You lost it right there. That's where, no, it's never going to work for you. You have to have that underlying trigger change. And people will say, change takes time. No, it don't. Change can be instantaneous. If you're just lounging around and a lion turns up, guess what? Change will happen quickly and you'll get into sports mode.
So if you... we've met a couple of times. We've connected on social media. Lovely fella. When you go into your consultancy roles, do you have to dial the loveliness down and be a bit harsh with these people, or is there consultants that just go in and are yes men and just take the money and go, you're doing all right? I get the feeling from you sort of a little bit more hard nosed about it to get the job done.
The real truth of that is that the one-to-ones that we've been doing, and I've had obviously lots and lots of requests. In my head I can only do about 6 or 7 a month,
right? Because
it's just so dodgy, and I'm running big businesses as well. Got to be there to run those as well. I will do a first thing where I'll do 50 goals that you want to achieve. So that will take up probably the first sort of 2 or 3 weeks of the consultancy, because I need to find out who they are. And when I can find out that they want to write a song, or they want to be independently wealthy, they want to drive a Range Rover, they want to earn £2 million a year, whatever it might be, but to get 50 out of people is quite tough.
Yeah. And
then we go in there, and then I do the whys. So why do you want to run your own restaurant? Because I love cooking, and then we can dial that down to when I get a big house, I'm going to have like a restaurant style kitchen in it, so I can do my performance of what my real dream was to be as a chef, whatever. But do all the whys, and then we've got this template of who they are and what their desires are and how they see themselves in the next 10 years. Then we dial it off. Years 1, goals that you need to do, years 2, 3, 5 and 10. And then you work that out for them. And when you've done that, then you can start saying things like, that's bullshit. Because if we look at this document, it's nothing to what you're trying to do here. So stop around, because that ain't going to work. And then you can get this other side of me.
I was going to say, so the answer to my question is yes.
I should have just said yes. But that's what happens. And the other thing is, because I can only do it, so in my time of life in 62 years, I go, either do it or don't do it, because I ain't got enough time, because I've got other people that will implement the stuff.
Yeah,
and I'd rather do it with someone that can actually become something really different and change themselves. And have they really in here, in their heart, can they really see themselves being this person? Yeah. And I think sometimes you get wannabe entrepreneurs that they think it's probably a good place to be.
So they think they're going to just, they're paying you money, right? So they're going to pay you a decent amount of money, and then they just think that just paying the money is going to happen.
And we will, and I work with my very dear PA, Christina, that helps me run it all. And, you know, she will look at some of the stuff and just say, I think the 3 months is coming up for somebody. We'll just end it there.
Yeah.
Because you're getting grumpy about it. They're not really getting results from it, and off we go. But, yeah. We're going to do a different system, because the amount of time it takes up, if you're careful what you wish for, and we're going to do a different system in September.
You were saying about people not changing, the thoughts become them. I heard something the other day that we have 60,000 thoughts a day. 90% of them are the same as the day before.
Yeah.
So if you're not changing your thoughts, you're just going to the same thing over and over. You know, in 5 years' time, why have I got the same life that I had 5 years ago?
Yeah.
You probably have 600,000 thoughts a day, wouldn't
you? Yeah. Well, I think that's very true. I think that the environment that you're having those thoughts in is also is the problem. Right. Sometimes, you know, you're speaking to the brother-in-law at the weekend who's a bit negative. You're speaking to your mum, she doesn't want you to take a risk. You're speaking to your wife or your girlfriend or your partner, and they want security. And all of a sudden, you just end up being in this safe bubble of, well, we'll just go steady.
Yes.
And if you are a real, true entrepreneur and you are a weirdo, you'll start having to get into a different environment with different people and start doing stuff differently, and actually making, you know, proper jolted shifts to start thinking different. You know, and that is the key to actually becoming the person that you really believe you can. But it goes hand in hand, because you need to actually be confident to think that you're going to become that person. It's a bit convoluted, that answer.
We've seen that a little bit with Strings Direct. I think when I was on the podcast, I was saying that we're a bit of a seeding level. It's a mature business. It's not like it was. It's a bit stagnant. And then certainly I and you, we've been putting ourselves in rooms with people like yourself, people like Neil Sweeney, you know, and just talking to people. And I think our mindset has changed a little bit. Rather than going, it's not going to grow. How can we do that? Why not? And we've seen some really good results in the last month. Like you say, it can be instant when you just change your mindset.
Yeah, I think it's just taking the action to actually do it, rather than just thinking about it as well.
I think that you know, that it goes back to the old analogy of the fear of failure. Yeah. So the fear of failure is the thing that will always hold you back. As a dyslexic, you know, and I'm chronically dyslexic. I don't read. Am I chronically dyslexic, or did I chose at that stage of my life, it was sort of 12 to 13 years old. It was too hard to just do it. And I was joining the letters up there, and I'm thinking, I'm messing around here. I could bloody be going over here. And I just went, do you know what? I'll just turn that off. Come out. Don't read or write. Can you read it for me? And just take that. Oh, can't you read? And I just took that on the chin because I had something to get on with. And because I did that, it allowed me to have others doing stuff for me. It was quite a little bit of a secret thing, so that people were helping me and doing stuff for me. But it allowed me to actually have a pathway uncluttered by that. And that really helped me focus on who I could be going into the future. And that was that was a sort of a turning point for me that made it feel that everything is possible. And that's kind of where we sort of got to. That answer went off on a bit of a tangent, but that's right where we were.
When you said that was a little bit of a secrecy thing, did you hide the fact in the early days that other people were helping you? Was it like an embarrassment thing or something? Or
I think what really happened, you end up to make your world work. You end up creating an environment. So you end up with, I mean, at 18 years old, I had my own personal secretary, a PA, a lady from she was a barrister's clerk's secretary. She was very, very good, and she had a daughter, and she didn't want to go into London anymore, so she came in 3 days a week for me. Dropped her daughter off, then came into me at like 9:30. And she turned me into it. She made me look fantastic. She taught me how to paragraph, how to do writing. You know, back then it was letters, but with emphasis, and NBs and postscripts and stuff like that. And she just made me really look at stuff, how communications worked, and she read everything to me and did it. And we were in a porter cabin in a shitty old yard, cutting grass and doing trees. Way back, these right at the beginning, and you had people around you in that way that would. I used to use a dictaphone back in the day, no iPhones then, and give her the little mini tapes to do. And all of that was creating an environment to operate in. However you're challenged, however you might be colourblind, you might be deaf, whatever it is. But whatever it is, you can do it. You just need to change the environment that you're in to suit yourself. And then I created my own bubble to work in. Yeah.
I think when you go on, sorry.
No, go on.
I was going to say, when you said about you got. What was her name? Sorry, your PA.
My PA now is Christine.
No, sorry, the lady you had.
Oh, back in there was Jill.
Oh, Jill. So when you got Jill in, you said that you were able to delegate all these tasks to her, which I think is incredibly, important, and probably to help you all get on that path a lot quicker. Because I've found that certainly here, there's some. Although I can do it, doesn't mean I should do it.
No.
And you get stuck in this operator role. So from the get go. You're a delegator, and you're thinking so differently.
Sure, yeah.
Whereas I know I've been stuck in it, and obviously you've got yourself out of it quite on purpose. In terms of just getting out of that operator role, and you get so bogged down in it, and you never get to that overseeing.
But it's a very common pattern, and it happens, in the consultancy. It's glaringly obvious that they've actually end up seating into it. You have this entrepreneur that has a great idea to do this thing. He then creates the stuff, gets it going, makes it all work, and having to do some trench work, and then he's in it. And where's the entrepreneur? The entrepreneur's now in it, doing the operating.
He's not an entrepreneur anymore.
And he's not an entrepreneur anymore. And it's the fine line of how can I ever afford to pay someone a wage big enough for them to be able to operate the business and me to get out of it. Well, in the early days, that's very difficult, because that's difficult because you can't get yourself out of the trenches and afford the new person to come in to become over here. The entrepreneur finding customers, finding new products or ideas or services, networking, finding different communities to push the brand into, or whatever it might be, because you're deep in here. And that bit of a log jam is difficult, and it's not easy. You say that's what you should do. It's easy for you to say, but that's not easy.
I think a lot of people would see that as an overhead, but it's actually not an overhead. It might be a necessity, especially for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, if we take the wedding business that we created, Baddow Park House, we're probably in year 5 now. I've never taken a penny out of that business ever,
right?
And I probably won't for another few years. I'm very lucky. I don't need to, and that's what happens. But we are investing back into that. The team run it. I haven't got any keys for it. I don't do any bookings for it. I swan in, and they go, come in here. And I go, what am I doing? Oh, this is our owner, James. I go, hi, how you doing? I sprinkle this love and stuff that I genuinely like meeting the clients and stuff like that. And that's it. And I'm literally just there to do it. We're making big decisions on, we're going to spend a lot of money doing this or doing that, I'll get involved in that bit. But the team on that day-to-day mechanics of running that business and the creative funnel to keep the customers coming is really down to them to do that. But they're on probably, 20% extra wages.
Right.
They're superstars. They have my directors and stuff have unlimited paid holiday. So unlimited paid holiday means that they can go off whenever they want, but they can't drop the ball and you can't turn your phone off. And they're the rules. And you've got to book it up 2 weeks in advance so everybody knows what's going on. No one really goes on holiday. Everybody's dedicated to do it, but they have it there as a sort of something to lean on. That if sometimes they'll take a Friday off and not turn up on a Monday, so they get a little 4-day holiday over the weekend with their family or whatever. But we're busy, we're busy people.
I remember you saying on Will's podcast that you bought Baddow House, and then you said, "Who am I going to get to run this?"
Yeah.
And because that is kind of such a forward-thinking way of like going into it.
It's the who and not the how, because the how the who fulfills the how, because you just bring them in. And we headhunted 2 or 3 people, and we had to go and really talk them into it. It was just a pile of bricks that was just being done up, and they had to come in. But that was exciting because they were coming into something that was new and different, and we were trying to find a blue ocean of doing it different. I always read that in Richard Branson's thing. If we're going to do trains, how are we going to do them different? We're going to do planes, how are we going to do them different? So it was always finding that twist of newness, and it took us probably 2 to 3 years to find out exactly what that was. And what that was pastoral care, and the care and attention to the day for those customers, friends and family to have a wonderful experience and memories. Well, that took that long for us to understand the business, understand the client base. But the one key that we did, the biggest decision we made that was the right one, is we went upper market. The bottom market of wedding is under threat at the moment. They're all feeding to the floor.
Is it a bit race to the bottom?
Race to the bottom.
Because it's all, all you can eat $9.99. It's just not good, because the lower end is quite a big wedge of people, but they're all sort of under 20 grand weddings. Well, our base wedding is like 36 grand, and it goes right up to like 50 grand. So we were an upper market, but it's a very slim market. And then if you're above 50 grand, you've gone to Barbados or a castle in Ireland, because the money's no object and you've gone. Yeah. So it is a slim band.
We found that, haven't we, recently in the Strings Direct, in the music industry, that some big players have gone because they were just...
They were the discounters.
Yeah.
They've just gone. There's been 3 big players that they were doing guitars and everything like that, and they've just gone under.
But that's very good for you guys.
Absolutely, everyone's the whole industry's like shaking in their boots, and I heard that was like brilliant.
Yeah.
We've lent into it. Yeah. We've actually hired someone else. We're upped our marketing budget. We're buying more stock.
Yeah.
We're leaning into it. I don't see why you wouldn't do that, to be honest with you. Like, there's actually, I think they said of 96 million between these 3 companies gone in turnover a year.
I think the leaning into it, what you said there, we did that about probably about 11 months ago, and we started really getting into a pay-per-click. Because as a wedding, we don't retain a customer. They come in and get married, they're gone.
Yeah.
But we have 120 guests that come every time with them. So we're making sure the pastoral care and attention to not just the top table, but to everybody was fantastic. Meet and greet everybody. People being taken to their rooms. We have Marks and Spencer's policy. Where are the toilets? Let me take you.
Yeah.
And we take them where, and we don't say it's left, right, and so all of that training and those training schemes that cost money. Pay-per-click costs a lot of money, and we found high quality contractors to run it. Yeah. Red Rabbit, big shout out to Red Rabbit. They're really good. They do all the SEO behind all that for us. Then we have a social media team. We're spending up 6 or 7 grand a month making that funnel fit for purpose, and that Sarah that I had on my pod, I think you guys are going to be talking to her. I brought her in for a few grand to just come and look at that team. Just come and look at it. It pissed a few people off. Well, we're doing all right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, all right's all right. But we're going to bring this other professional in that's not in the woods with us to look down and go, okay, yeah, everything's great. Apart from that, what the bloody hell are you doing that for? Well, that looks a bit weird because it doesn't join up with your website there. Your socials don't cross. And it's that nuance of detail that really makes the difference, you know. And this, you know, we're ahead of everybody because we're making podcasts and we've got our socials organised and we're becoming a brand that subliminally is promoting the strings company, promoting the wedding venue, promoting we do warehousing, promoting we want to buy warehousing, promoting we might buy another wedding venue, you know, or even people coming to work for us. Oh, I like them. I would like to work for that guy, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think that the podcast thing is digital networking, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Even just me and you meeting, you know, I didn't know, to be honest, I didn't really know about Baddow House before I met you. And now if anyone was getting married, I might go, do you know what? Go and check out Baddow House, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And when you said you look after all the other people there, when I got married, there was like 10 weddings in that year in that group.
Yeah.
Other people are going to go, this is pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm looking to propose in a few months' time, or you know, I'm going to look at this place. So it's you've got that captive audience on that day. So looking after absolutely everyone, whether it's the 80-year-old nan or the whoever.
We break it down that you just to a wedding for a minute, and you look at that you've got we call them mavens, so people that rave about it. They might be contractors, a band, or a DJ, or a cake maker, or whatever. We make sure there's a parking space for that cake lady to back right up to where the kitchens are to do it. And we actually make sure there is a parking space for her. We actually do have parking bays that are reserved just for the registrars. Registrars are busy people. They come, they don't want to mess around with parking. They need to park outside, go in, do their stuff, get them married and go to the next one. We created now a tea party every year for the registrars in Chelmsford in our venue. So they can all get together and have a chinwag and a chat, and I go along and wave at everybody and say, how's it all going? If we need to move a wedding and get a better time, we can phone up. They will help us. Most of the time, if they can, they'll help us, because they also are chatterboxes for Baddow Park House as well. So that's good. And you've got those, the mavens and the chatterboxes and the virus, and that they're putting out there. Then you've got socials, that's ambient, finding you ambiently, and then you've got hunters, and the hunters is where the social media has then taken it a little bit further, and you're now going sponsored ads. They're typing in luxury venue, Essex wedding, and ping, 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 but you're having to pay that money. It costs you 90 quid for a click. Who cares?
When you get
it's a £35,000 wedding. And if that works, that after people listening to this as well, if you're doing pay-per-click, lean in and stay in and make sure you've got good contractors, because it takes time, doesn't it?
It does.
It takes time. It doesn't just work overnight. It's not 3 months. It's probably not even 6 months. It's probably 8 that really you start seeing the results. Well, people, you know, most business people will get, well, I've done 4 months of this.
Yeah,
I've had
absolutely.
enough, you know.
Absolutely.
Where's all the money that I've spent come back? And it hasn't, you know.
I think also when you pull back on the budget. We've done that a few times, you know, when things are a bit tight or something, you might pull back a little bit. It's almost a spiraled out, like Google probably going, well, these guys are cutting back budget. Well, why are we going to throw it their way?
Yeah.
So I think it is a case of, lean into it and stick with it, because I think Google are on your side on that. I can't.
I've learned the last sort of year or so doing that. You need to have high quality subcontractors that are niche.
Yeah.
And that's why we have Aaron and we have Damien that are separate entities that come in and then do their separate ones. One really looks at our website, how it interfaces. And these agencies, do you want some printing? Do you want some SEO? Do you want stuff like that?
No.
It's not really the way to do it. You've got to find the team. And we send out memos. We sent that report to all of our subcontractors from Sarah, and they all looked at it and they're going, these people are serious about their marketing and they care about it. So everybody, I use the expression, everybody, they bristle up and they pay attention. You know, this is not just another customer. This is bloody Baddow Park House, and they're wanting us to be superstars and to perform. And that's what you're asking them to do.
Funnily enough, Aaron is coming on here, and I've got a bit of a funny story. I was on holiday in Greece, and this bloke come up to me with a phone. He went, "Is that you?" And he was friends with Neil Sweeney, right? And Neil was on the podcast, and he'd seen the podcast. My face went, "Is that you?" I went, "Yeah." He went, "Oh, I'm Aaron. Nice to meet you." Just
Aaron's a good guy.
In Greece, and I got talking to him, and he was saying he just
bit of universe woo-woo there.
Yeah, absolutely. That was
going on. Like
it was very, very weird. But he's coming on really nice. I've only met him for
very. I did a funny thing with him. So someone said, "Oh, you need to speak to Aaron." He was part of our group that meets at the dinner.
That's right.
We do at Battle Pot House every month, and I put him in contact with Kelly that runs the wedding venue, and she went, "Oh, he's a bit off. He sort of answered the phone a bit weird like that." So I see him at the next dinner. I said, "You answer the phone a bit weird. You're a bit off." And he went, "Yeah, I am a bit like that, but I really do know what I'm doing. Sorry, I don't come across that way."
He literally come up.
I didn't know you wanted someone front of house, and I went, "Okay, touche. All right, okay, very nice."
He literally,
I sort of said, "Well, as long as you do your job, everything's fine. Would you leave your personality in the cupboard?"
I was literally sitting there having breakfast, and he just literally, I don't even think he said hello. He just come up to me with a phone and went, "Is that you?" Yeah. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you this in a very, let's go in a crazy world, right? AI.
Yep.
Can you see? Because I can't. Can you see a world? This is probably going to go down the road of what you're talking about. You're going pastoral care and all that. Can you see a world where there's robots hosting a wedding? Bringing out a drink and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. If that's the wedding that you want, let's do it. That's it. And that'll be a sector, and that'll be over there, and then there'll be a thing over there, and then there'll be another wedding thing going over there. But yeah, I can see that. And I see that all of those things will happen. But if you look at really what we do, it's in the service industry, it's about humans and stuff like that, and what you'd call the human touch.
Of course.
But I definitely feel... I was at the Magic Circle yesterday, and I was talking to them, and how many weddings do you do? Oh yeah, we've done a couple of weddings. I'm saying, this is the best wedding venue ever. This is a new experience for people that want to do a different thing and don't want to do the traditional thing. That we're quite traditional what we do, but this would be a great thing. So hopefully, I'm going to go back to them and do a little bit of work with them to try and build it into a package that's price pointed well, probably up there, because they don't need to do loads. So if they're going to do some, let's do them at a higher price. But yes, I do think AI, with how it's all going to work, we need to go and not fear it. We need to go and embrace it and find out how will it work for us.
And do you think that will be price pointed? So I don't say the robots, but if robots are involved, maybe it's a lower price point, and then when the humans are involved, it's a bit more sort of like...
It depends how you do it. It could be that it's so fresh and new. It's this wow thing that costs a fortune.
I think you go like that.
And then go like that. And then, we've done that stuff anyway. They're just robots. We prefer actually someone to look after my nan who's got Parkinson's that needs to have some care in a quieter place at the wedding venue when the disco's on or whatever. Disco? Did I really say disco? Sorry, guys. But that's what happens. What we do is very different. We'll find out they've got a dog, or they've got a disabled member of the family coming, and that's all on our internal notes. Our internal notes are huge, and everybody reads that. Everybody sees that, from the gardening team to meet and greet team to chefs. Everybody sees all of that.
Yeah.
Don't talk dietary. Jesus, it is how those chefs do it. It's unbelievable. The dietary requirements for everybody.
The nut things.
Oh my God! It's just
because some people just go crazy, don't they? If they have a bit, we've had smell of a nut.
Turn up, they're getting married. We should have told you last week. We're now vegetarians.
So what happens then?
Do you know what? We went and just cobbled something up because it was that late. It was
origin.
We just lurking around at the side of a. Anyway,
it's a great shot that people Instagram.
We brought it in. We brought and we said, this is what we can. And they just went, we'll just go with what you've got, and we'll give it a miss today. You just think, oh my God.
They just ate
the food. They just ate the food that they'd already ordered, and that was it. They had a day off from their newfound thing. Sorry, every vegetarian people, but it was just a funny thing that happened once. So,
do you have your own caterers, or do you have a?
We have a catering team in. Yeah, Crown are in now. It's changing in January. We're going all in house. We want to be more flexible, so that's all happening. That's very exciting for us. We've had all brand new kitchens in. We're just changing them all again for more up to date equipment that produces stuff and keeps it all ready for us. And the chefs have their foibles of how they want to spend money on the space that we've got. We've got quite good. We've got quite good space at the back, so it's nice.
Yeah. I remember when I got married, they had a catering company that was kind of part of the wedding venue, but they were separate, if that makes sense. So I was just
they'd have like selected contracts.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
And the reason we do some of that with other contractors like florists or bands and stuff like that. Because when we have a band or someone turn up that we've never worked with before, it can't go wrong. They have to turn up. So we would probably like to use someone that we really know we can trust, and we really know their timing's good. We know their equipment works, and they're not going to pull us up or whatever.
The limiters and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah, do you have to have one of those?
No, we don't. We own the whole estate. Right. So we own all the other houses around it. We're very lucky. So, we get late licenses to 2:00 in the morning. You can have live bands there with drums where you can't in some venues.
Electric drum kit and all that business.
Everything, I mean, but we are lucky with that, just in our location. That's good. Yeah.
Okay, great.
You do mentorship.
Yeah.
Do you have one yourself?
I've been on loads. I've been America on some stuff early doors. I've helped Will with some of his stuff. I've worked with Will Polston. Will Polston, big shout out, very good life coach. And he hatched some stuff out of me that I was sort of struggling with and had bottled up, and that was really good. And I do recommend Will if you've got something that you need to get a pathway for, and he does this North Star that's really good. I'm very big friends with James Sinclair, and I think the pair of us are helping each other with stuff and ideas, and just seeing the wood for the trees sometimes, or just saying, or just chatting about an acquisition or something that's going on. But you get to a point that you're of a size, you need someone that's probably of a bigger size to you to be able to chat about it, or very similar sizes. I still love some of my old mentors that would be older people like Brian Tracy. I grew up on Brian Tracy as a mentor, even though I've never met him. I'd love to meet him because he's at old age now. But I will repeatedly put on old stuff and listen to it again. Now, digestion of a book or an audio book and stuff, in my case, always an audio book, will be about 10%. Well, if you go back to that in 6 months' time, you'll hear another whole load of stuff. And I'm constantly reading books or re-listening to other stuff that I've already heard before.
Yeah.
So I do. To answer your question, I'm still using mentorship, definitely.
I think also, like, even when you're doing the content, you talk to the camera, do your little walks and everything. That is actually mentorship without. Well, it's not without knowing it. People will watch that every day, even though you've never met them. You're mentoring people.
And we like to do that. That feed on my Instagram, I work hard on making sure I've got snappy subjects. For easy digestion, it's a very fast little platform, and that helps us get the profile out, but it helps them have a daily digestion. I try and do them every single day. I film them, I send them to Nicola, my daughter, that I do mention in there, that she does everything for me, and she snips it all together and takes the ums and ahs out for me. And I think that has a place for people, at lunchtime, just see what has James got up to today. Flump, I've got up to this, and there's also this little message, this little sound bite. And I think I think what you're alluding to there as well is because we do this stuff, we're also sharpening our own sword by default.
Yes.
Because we're talking to other people about it and we're doing stuff, and it's just making us better, isn't it? Because we're always thinking, and that's good. Good stuff.
Do you find that hard to create every day?
No, I don't. No, I sort of come up with ideas and thoughts, and I always notebook. So I have my notes on my phone. Wherever I am, I will stop and put in that works. I just did one the other day. Was just the whole title was just, are you, are you thinking that idea? And it's a provocative hook, but it makes people think. are some of their ideas, are some of their, and it was just use the word because it's provocative, this, that, and the other. And then we did another one saying weirdo. Yeah. So I did one with weirdo. Yeah, we're all bloody weirdos, and I like being a weirdo. And don't think that you don't hold yourself back because you think you'll be perceived as a bit weird. That's a good thing. Yeah, and go with it. You know.
Do you do them off the cuff, or do you just do them? Do you maybe go for a walk for an hour and do?
I try and do a walk every morning, and I go over to Highlands Park. Everyone will know if they watch me, and I go over there. I'm like the parkie over there. I say, can you take your car off the grass, please? Park. Do you remember that? That's an old word. A parkie. Parkie.
Should we get your ranger?
Ranger. But I go over there, and I just you know, people see me and they go, "You making one of your things?" Yeah. So she's with their little cocker spaniel like that. So I meet everybody. What I like about that park is all those people have stepped forward and they're doing their exercise and they're doing their steps, and I'm doing mine as well. And it's a nice big park and it's a beautiful park. But I'm saying, I take my hat off to all those people I bump into. You know, there's a guy over there, he's obviously had a really bad stroke, and he's there every bloody morning just doing his 40 steps from his car to the thing, gets a coffee and moves all the way back. And I've stopped and spoken to him, and he's been told he's got to just get himself mobile again, and the other, you know, he's going to get himself together. And that really infuses me and makes me feel that you know, that they've taken that extra step to do their stuff. But I do that. I'm doing Tai Chi again. When I was a young man at drama school all those years ago, and I was trying to be a flamboyant show off back then, until they kicked me out and said, "You can't read the lines we're giving you to do, so we prefer you to go."
So you're ad-libbing?
Yeah, I was just making it up. I was going along. But and I used to do Tai Chi then, and I was in China, and I was telling Ollie this, and there's a park when we're in the middle of bloody China, deepest China, and there they all were. And I went, I recognise that, I know that stuff. So I went down and joined them on the back of them. You know, Sinclair and Jenky, that were with me, going, "Oh my God, what's he up to?" And I went in and they went, "Oh, he knows how to do it." All the muscle memory all came back in. So I've now got my app. And I'm there every morning, and I was there this morning at 5 o'clock. This is all and it's all like slow motion kung fu. But you do it, and it's to strengthen your core and your arms, the rest of it. But if it all came on top, it all goes into speed motion. Right. So I don't want anything to ever come on top. I love everybody, but it's very good. It's good stuff. And the walking is good. It gives me a time to putter and prep, kill all the emails, do all the voice notes to everybody, get everybody sort of organised in my head, all those things that you want, and then I'll drift into work, I don't know, 9 o'clock. By the time I've gone from 5, I get into work about 9 o'clock, 9:30. Right. And I've got a lot done in that time. Yeah. I've got my exercise, I've got my reels out, I've sent all my notes to everybody, and you know, and I do that every day. I do it every day. I was going to say I do it 6 days a week, but I don't. I do it every day.
It's consistency as well.
It is,
It's a labour of love, isn't it? Yeah. You just get into it, and I really enjoy it. To be honest.
And it becomes part of your format. Yeah. And because you're giving yourself the reasons to do it, and I know deep in my heart that I am actually helping people, and I get great messages. I'm sure you do. You guys get messages back from your socials and stuff. It's really good. You know, the people tag us in and stuff like that, and they send little notes in. It's very, very kind.
Yeah, I just off the back of your podcast. I mean, I think it's a lot easier hosting than it is being a guest. To be honest with you, it's the first time I was ever really a guest, and once I was nervous, but I was just a bit. And I'd never met you, and I was going to a weird place. And I've had people that I don't even know message me that follow you going, I watched it and it was really good. Yeah. And I just thought, you know, that's just the power of...
Yeah, and it's good reach, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah, definitely. I was going to say, you were talking about some goals and things like that. How has your goals changed as you've got older? Like from young James Martin, when you first started, you know, with the gardening business and the... was it arboriculture you said?
Yeah, arboriculture. I
always think agriculture.
Yeah. Well, arboriculture is working in the study of trees, and it fits in, you know, agriculture and arboriculture, and then I think do the question again.
Yes,
what was it? Do the question again.
Yeah. So how has your goals, or maybe your view of success, changed from being a young man to as you got older? Has that changed?
I think years ago it was all about money. You know, how much money can I earn? How much free? How many holidays can I probably take? Then I didn't take the holidays because I was too worried about the businesses. And then I think my goal set. I had a big project on where we were selling some land for a lot. We had planning permission for a lot of houses. It took months and years to go through. And when it came through, a few million quid came into my lap from that, you know, unencumbered money. And I went off and bought all these classic cars and Mercedes and stuff like that. Joined the Goodwood, Goodwood Club or whatever it's called down there. Become a member of Goodwood, and I'm down there and I'm smoozing with all these people who've got all these cars, and that's the wrong headlight, and this is this, and that year was that, and I'm loving it. It's all great, and we've got this little stable of about 12 cars. It's okay.
Yeah.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
I looked in. There was a big shop or something where we were met up one morning somewhere. It was a coffee morning with all these SL Mercedes owners, and they're older than me, and it was cold, and I had a cap on. And I looked in the mirror, and there's this old guy talking to this other very old guy, and the old guy was me. And I just aged like that, and I just went, yeah, is that what I look like now? And I just went, okay. And then gradually, over the next 18 months, I sold everything off.
Yeah.
And the perception of what you want and how you get there. Am I successful? I don't believe so. How I feel now is not successful. I still think there's a lot more to do. There's a lot more businesses to build. There's a lot more difference of things to make things different in the world of entrepreneurship. And I want to do that. And I see, you know, the next 25 years are busy. You know, they just are. For me, that's my mindset. And because my mind is set like that, and that's what you were saying earlier, I'm quite energised to go there.
You're enjoying the journey, not the actual destination.
But people could be thinking about retirement, easiness, and sell it all and have a little pile of money in the corner, go on holiday, you know, 12 times a year. But that's it. What is that?
That's a printer.
Is that a printer?
No, I think it's the air conditioning unit.
No, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely. It's a basic person. But I think that's yeah.
So have you got an end goal? Like with the Baddow Park house, are you thinking, I'm going to sell it later, or are you just in love with it and you're just going to keep going with it?
Baddow Park house. This was my setup in my brain for it, and I shared this with the young team when we were starting up. There's about 4 of us that were the main team, and I shared it, and I said the goal of what we're trying to do over the next 3 years, because to get a wedding venue going from zero, well, you've got to get bookings, and they're usually a year to 18 months.
Yeah.
So there's nothing coming in. Yeah. We were selling weddings when it was a slab of concrete at the back. You know, got hard hats, put all the guests on hard hats, and started selling weddings before it was finished.
Right.
You know, there's no point.
So you're selling the dream before they even see it.
And was that a hard sell?
Oh, hard. But we got an artist to do artist impressions and stuff like that, and it really worked. And we sold a ton of weddings off of that. They were probably a bit lower on the price. Anyway, that whole thing was. This was the dream. I'm in London in the future, and I'm at a do where I'm with someone. Somebody sits next to me I don't know, and I go, "Hi, nice to meet you." And he says, "Oh yeah, fine. I've had a right old year. My daughter got married this year." And I say, "Oh, do you want to borrow a tenner?" And he said, "Yeah, no. It cost quite a lot of money, but it was so good." And he tells me about my wedding venue.
Right,
brilliant.
And I sit there, and I'm able to listen to him, and then just say, "Well, actually, I'm Mr. James Martin and I own that, and that's my staff." That was very kind of what you said. I shake his hand, and it's the zing from that that I actually was trying to create. It wasn't about how much money it was going to return me. It was that's actually what I wanted, was that. And I believe if that's what you want, the money just comes anyway. The staff know what the story is. We're very successful there. The Red Book valuation from Savills tells its own story, and that's kind of what you want to do. I'm a bit of a weirdo. I'll keep all the Red Book valuations of all the properties I own in the drawer next to my bed, and if I'm feeling a little bit down, I just get them out and just add them all up and go, life's okay. It's all right, that's fine, because they're the truth. The Red Book valuations are actually the truth. It's not about how much money you're earning every day out of them. How much I spend very little money year by year because we own everything, and we do stuff through the company, and we you know, but am I getting these great big wages out of it? I just take what I need out of the companies and really reinvest everything else in there.
Someone said that you want so much money, but it's not the money you want, it's the feeling you get from, it's not because they want to buy the stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the stuff you want, it's the feeling you get from having the stuff. And I'm not sure that's the case.
I think your attitude to money changes, and if you're driving towards a pound note, you'd be very careful, because that's a hard walk sometimes. I think sometimes you need to have a vision of what the business looks like and how it's helping other people. We're here as entrepreneurs to solve problems, and don't forget it. Don't ever bloody forget that. We're here to solve problems. If you solve them problems well, the money follows, because you're doing something that others can't do. And that's what it might be in a product, might be in a service, whatever it might be, but do it really well to the best of your capability and build a team that are empathetic to that, as opposed to empathetic to how much money did we earn this week?
Yeah.
That's not what it's about.
No. There you go.
What's happening in your world? Is everything working well here? Is it all on target and stuff? What's it like?
Yeah, we said earlier on, Strings Direct has sort of gone off on one, really. Yeah. I mean, we've just been plugging away. We managed to, because Dispatch Bros and Strings Direct have sort of I don't say success, but let's say success of Dispatch Bros in a mild way has really helped Strings Direct. So the volume we're putting through, we've got better courier rates. In turn, we can offer on Strings Direct, which we've never been able to do, next day delivery on everything
as standard.
Wow. And we've done that over the last couple of months, and all of a sudden Strings Direct business has probably gone, coupled with these other big guys going under, 20-30% more.
Because I think the whole thing, and I'm trying to do it with my businesses and when we're doing consultancy, is tweak the model.
Yeah.
You have a model and it's earning this or it's earning wages, but those slight, little shunts really make different results. I always do the analogy of hitting the golf ball. 0.5 millimetre change of that club face makes it go in a lot different direction.
Yeah.
And that's really key to keep fettling with the business, to try and find those new little oceans of opportunity to make it just those little bits different.
I think sometimes as well, when you're in the business like that, you got the blinkers on.
Yeah.
And where you said you had Sarah come in, and she went, oh, this, and then sometimes you go, oh, actually, yeah. And then it's those 1% that you go, bloody hell, that's made that hockey stick effect just by changing the view of those.
Subcontractors, I've never feared it, because I always thought, and I did suffer with I did suffer really with dyslexia in the early days of the shame of it, and I was quite shamed by it. And I speak to dyslexic audiences and stuff like that, and they all agree. It's not just me with shame. That there is a shame of it, and somewhere in there, it made me think that a lot of people were a lot cleverer than me. And the real truth is, a lot of them do different stuff than me, and that makes them appear cleverer than me. So I will get a very good conveyance lawyer for commercial stuff to come in, and they say, well, we've got one here at $5,000, but the really good one's 12. Bring the 12 in. I want to learn off of him. This is not about him just doing this contract for me. I'm going to sit with this guy and digest a load of stuff. So I've always, even the wedding venue, we had a consultant, Kelly Chandler. We bought her in. It was very expensive to do a report. That report was gold. And that report, we still will flick into it and review it. And that report helped us borrow some money to do some of the work there, because the bank could see we were professionally taking it seriously, because we have got professionals working alongside us with our entrepreneurial stardust. We're also being very clever and smart that we have people that are steering us with 10,000 hours in the sector, and that was really important as well.
Yeah, I think what you say, going back to when you're doing the consultancy, you want to work with people who are really going to put the hours in and are going to do, you got to push them along rather than mothering them.
Yeah.
And I think, kind of like what you said there, the banks want to work with people who are doing the do, and that their investment is secure with you.
The banks want to see that you have an experience in that sector and you'll do it. It's one of their big markers You know, he seems like a very nice guy. He's got that much money. There's enough value there. But does this nice guy know that sector? Well, I could say I don't know. I knew about the building, of how to make the building work, because I could show that, because I'd done lots of projects like that and listed buildings. I'd done a lot of work there, but I didn't know the wedding. So that subcontractor gave us the edge towards that. I think, changing tack a bit, entrepreneurs, business people need to get fit for finance. You need to get fit for finance, and that means stop putting all the cash in your pocket, bank it all, pay your taxes, and start getting fit for finance. Go and meet banks, go and talk to banks about, I'm looking in a couple of years to buying a building. How would that work with your bank? What do I need to do? And they'll give you a template of what you bloody well need to do. And then you can go off and do it. And then speak to another 2 banks and find out. And all it comes down to is, you're not paying enough tax. We will immediately look, how much tax and money have you banked? Or how safe is what it is? Or go and get a better deal with the bank. Getting fit for finance means that you can actually start elevating yourself and becoming independently wealthy through owning commercial property, owning the IP on something, you know, whatever it might be. But I think that's crucial to the formula of being that. And that's what we're trying to do, and that's what we were going to talk about earlier, was we're now doing a masterclass. So the masterclass at Baddow Park House, it starts in September. There's if you look up now, you can find it on my socials and on our website. There's a website set up for there, and it is Baddow Park House Masterclass. And we've just got 16 spaces. Half of them will already have been gone by now, because we had lots of inquiries. And that is £1 million plus turnover companies in the same room with Mark Creaser and myself. And you're coming in for a couple of days. You stay overnight at Baddow Park House every quarter. You get involved in us throughout the year. You pay a monthly subscription fee to be part of that WhatsApp group as well. And we're doing Zoom calls, and you're getting one-to-ones with us weekly and monthly. So it becomes like a creche of excellence. That's what we're looking to do. And in there, other people will have other ideas of other people's businesses, and stewardship from both Mark and myself. That's powerful. Being a business owner, all right, your brother's in yours, but being a business owner is bloody lonely. And you're standing there making decisions in the cold wind blowing on your face. Am I doing the right thing? Well, you join one of those, and they'll soon bloody work out you not doing the right thing, or you are doing the right thing, or you need to do it bigger or smaller or better or quicker. All of those things will be answered in those rooms, because you're going to do it in a very closed environment that's private. It's all, everybody signs NDAs. They don't talk about the other businesses outside of the business. People open up to what it is. I've had people, you know, I've done them before. People have fallen to pieces because they've just realised they've got a model, and they've just been puddling around doing it and getting nowhere. And I've watched it where people have actually dumped what they've done and changed pitch and gone to something completely new or different. So that's very powerful. That's exciting. But we start that in September. You can find it on our website.
Have you ever had to do that? Sort of change everything?
Oh God, many times, my friend. My God, you know, the cock-ups and failures behind me. You know, if you look in my back, it's like full of scars. You know, and it really is, and that's good. You know, the quicker you fail, the quicker you move forward. You know, and I have changed stuff. I've set up stuff and completely. I had a florist business. We had 4 florists. It was rubbish. It was absolute crap. We didn't. And the one thing you needed as a florist was the oh God, what's it called? The florists. Interflora. If you haven't got Interflora, forget it.
I'll call what with someone in Runcorn.
That feeds you flower orders every week. Feeds you all the funerals, all the weddings. We couldn't have it because we were a brand new florist where there was one up the road and give it in zones.
Right.
So we had garden centres, but city garden centres in locations on corner shops. Rubbish. Absolutely did not work at all. Burnt like loads of money on dense, you know, it was in cities, so the rent was high, the rates were high, and we're selling a pansy. No, shit model, you know, so it didn't work. But with loads of stuff. I mean, I could tell you a million stories. But it's, you know, without those marked failures and cock-ups, you ain't going nowhere. And if you're not prepared to do that, then don't be in the game. This entrepreneur stuff is not for everybody. You know, get your big boots on, because if you're going to do it, you need to do it. And you need to do it with a community of people to help you. Yeah. So you need to be involved and listen to websites and, listen to podcasts and listen to stuff and go and get mentorship, go and get hand holding and spend the bloody money. Well, how can they afford $3,000 a month? How can they afford not to pay $3,000 a month? Because you ain't going nowhere on your own. You need help. And I strongly believe that, because I wish I'd had it in my early 30s. I could be a billionaire by now. That me off. I mean, it really me off. And that's when you say, are you successful? Not really, no. Because I know my capability, but I needed that stewardship earlier.
Right.
And my mission is to try and get people through those scars quicker, so they can actually get on and get the light bulb moment, you know.
So is that kind of almost, like you say, as you got older, with your experience, that's a form of like sort of success that you can pass that knowledge on.
That would be a success tick in the box, that I know that I can very confidently help people grow their business quicker. And make them it happen for them quicker with the right moves, instead of just dumping a load of time on something that isn't going to work. And that's what comes to the frustration. Please stop doing that and do that. And why don't you listen to me and do it? And they say, well, how do you know you're right? I said, just believe me, I am. And then you might have to break it down for them and show them exactly that they're just going up a dead alley. You know?
But that's what you're paying for. You don't want someone to come in and go, oh, yeah, you're doing all right, just keep doing what you're doing. You want someone who's going to, you know...
And there's loads of courses and schemes and sign-ups and stuff like that. And I see them all. You know, people have to navigate their own way through that. But they need to... What I like about the podcasts and the socials, it allows someone that might be thinking of doing that to go and digest you, or go and digest you guys, and have a look. Are they real? Is this a real thing? And they can go back for a few months, few years, and have a look at the person. And by the time they make their mind up, they know who you are. They're quite willing to work with you, and they might want to work with someone else who's younger, or someone else that's from a different part of the country, or something else. But the digestion of the information, they went, oh no, I think this guy would be my delivery. You know. Yeah,
you can make a much more informed decision that way, can't you?
That's it, absolutely.
I think it's funny with social media as well. Like you almost become, if you're consistent with it, you become a little bit of a like. I don't know what is lower than a Z-list celebrity, but you sort of become a little bit. My wife literally, she forgot that you were coming on. Yeah. And I think I told you when I came to the podcast, like she really loves your content. And I went, she went, what are you doing today? I went, I've got the podcast. James Martin's coming on. She went, no, he isn't. She went, can I come in and meet him? And I went, well, you can, but she went, oh no. And then she went, oh, maybe not. No.
Don't meet your heroes.
Yeah, it's famous to a few.
Yes, right.
Yes,
that's what you're doing, and it's famous to a few that's really good. You know, I will go out or something like that, and people very kindly will share, hello team, hello team, because I always say hello to them. Well, that's very endearing. The little messages, I always make sure I say, that's very kind, thank you. You know, and that's it. And I strongly believe that if it is getting people to have a little bit of a pause in their day, then I've done my job, and that's good. You know, that's good.
Absolutely.
You family balance and work. I
very at it.
I'm quite.
Yeah. Divorce, you know, stuff like that. Partner breakup. You're hitting a serious note here. It is not easy. If you are a proper weirdo entrepreneur that is hungry to make things happen, on my consultancy, a lot of people that if they weren't committed to their family so much, they'd be a great entrepreneur. But I do get it, and that's probably the morally right thing to do. And that's it. I'm a workaholic, and I don't spend enough time with my family, and I feel terribly bad about it, and I'm trying to get that better by doing parked time, where when I'm there, I'm not on the phone, I'm not doing consultancy, I'm there, I'm present, and I'm doing my stuff. But it is hard, and I'm crap at it. And
because
stand on a chair.
Because you enjoy the game so much, right?
Yeah, it's like a drug. That's how I see it. It's like a crazy drug. That is my addiction. And I really live it every day, and I live it seriously. I care about my teams, probably sometimes more than I care about my family. That's a really thing to say, but it is true, because I have a huge responsibility for them and their lifestyle and their mortgages, and I know that all my family love me regardless of me being dad sometimes, and that's kind of not okay, but it is okay.
I think you're right. I think sometimes there is just a guilt factor. I've just got to sneak off to the toilet just to answer this email. It's just like the kids are playing. It's a tough one, and you know it's wrong, but you're just compelled to do it.
Yeah.
It is a
time management. I try and teach that to people, that they actually need to block time management out. And I live in the south of France, so I'm here for a few weeks, then I'm back at south of France, so it's quite compartmentalised for me. But it means I haven't got to rush back for tea time, or I haven't got to rush back for we're going out for dinner or whatever. So I spend quite a lot of time later on. I go out to dinners with people that are working with me or whatever. So it allows me to do a lot of condensed work, in a small amount of time. And then when I'm back in France at the house, I turn everything off. I have one hour a day where I go and shut myself in a car, and I do some work in there, either sending some reels back out, or actually dealing with some messages, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what I do. I sort of like I said to you before, I'll just go and literally sit on a bench at the end of my road and just sort of have a little think about something or whatever. Yeah. So thanks for coming on.
That's all right. No, I've really enjoyed it.
We're actually the last thing we're going to ask.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I said this to you, but favourite quote we're going to end on?
Favourite.
I know you do books and stuff, don't you?
Yeah. But favourite
or most powerful quote that sometimes stays with you, or it could be anything. Anyone said to you?
Right. I will undo my trousers and take my belt off. This is great, isn't it? This is great. Look, he's actually pulling his belt off right now. This is the noise of the belt if you're listening to this on audio. Right.
Where we go?
This and I've got the wrong belt on, because this is the original. I had these belts here, those there. I was given that in Houston by a guy down there called Al Korenik, and I then had them remade. And on the back of them, and it's not on this one because this is the original, but every other one says, and on the back of it says, "Talkers and doers, you're only as good as your actions." That's it. See ya, drop the mic, gone. Because that's it. Talkers and doers. You're going to be a doer.
Yeah.
I have talkers come to me all the time, and you're only as good as your action. There's no point in having worry, because you do action.
Yeah.
Worry has no place in any of our worlds at all. It needs to be shifted completely off to one side, because we do action. That's it. That's my quote. That's my long-winded.
I'm really glad it went there when we started taking his belt off. What's going on here?
Tattooed on my bum.
Thanks very much. I know you're a busy man.
No, thank you. I've enjoyed it. Thank you, team, technical team. Yeah. Thank you very much. It's all good stuff. Thanks.
Lovely.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool. I'll put my trousers back on now.